Hey, so I'm going to give you a bit of a walkthrough of the Wellcraft that we purchased back in the fall, and I'm going to show you some of the stuff I've been working on and what I've done since we bought it. I just like to try new things, experiment, and see what we can come up with for an end result with this project. So here we go. 1990 Wellcraft St Tropez. So I guess this is the 3300 model. We picked it up and it needed some cleanup, which we'll work on in the spring to polish it up. We did do a new windows all the way around because the canvas strata glass was pretty faded, hard to see through, so I had that redone, fixed a bunch of the snaps so it goes on nicely. There it is. This is our boat shed. It's a bit of a mess too, but let's take you around the other side here. We're lucky because it just barely fit inside of our shed, and it's a bit of a work zone, but we'll take you inside, show you what we've been doing. So I got a little diesel heater, which is really just for the winter, so I can warm the inside of the back deck and work on things here. I actually, it's a diesel heater I got off of Amazon actually, but what I did is I plumbed the exhaust through into the outer hull, and on the outside of the boat I put a proper exhaust through hull, so that when I'm working on it in here, I don't get exhaust fumes inside. As you can see, I started doing some refinishing on the upholstery because it was quite faded, kind of like this. So I'm going to be doing the front seats as well, just to clean them up so they're nice and white like that. We will probably get them redone because the foam is pretty old, but for now I just did a vinyl spray on them actually, which was pretty affordable. So the back engine hatch, I didn't like that you couldn't easily open it, so what I'm doing actually is I've cut the hatch, and it'll be a double hatch, but this side here I'm going to be able to hinge it so that it opens up, and you can actually go in and out a lot easier than trying to drag the whole hatch out of the way. Since the previous owner got rid of the gen set, I decided I will probably be expanding the battery bank, and so I've started remaking a subfloor here for mounting batteries, new blowers, kind of just cleaning up the wiring. Be a lot easier for servicing the engines when I get to that. A decent sized house bank of dual 6 volts right there, and I'm adding a second house bank. The second house bank actually is going to just be for the outside 12 volt systems, stereo, controls, navigation, all the helm power, and then the engine will have their own start batteries on the other side here. So it's a little dark in here. Power's off right now, but there it is. So new wiring will have to get tied up neatly, of course, when we're done. And let's jump out of here. So you saw the initial start on the dash. I just didn't like it, so I'm going to redo it. What you're seeing here is actually just a cheap particle board template. I'm printing templates just to see what is gonna look good, but that's kind of the idea of what I'm gonna go for actually. But in a black panel, all the surrounding will be white still, but I'll be doing new gauges. The stereo amps are gonna get mounted on panels in here, so I can easily, flip open the gauges, access. I've cut all the excess fiberglass out of the way to make it easier. Switches, I have new switches. I'm going to remake a switch panel that spans across the whole way, and I'll have, you know, whatever my final decision on all the gauges is going to be. But in our front dash, we'll have our VHF, so that'll be up here, our radio, and our chart plotter over on the left side there. All new gauges, which I'll get from our store, which is 3 Branch Supply. But as you can see, I think it'll look clean when it's all done. Everything out. I showed you this before, but just a quick look in there. Redoing all the fuse blocks and 12-volt power, and making sure everything is up to date and ABYC compliant. So we'll keep going. So let's go inside. So the door's still good. The lock needs fixing. It doesn't lock, but I'm not too worried. There was a switch down here, sorry, and I replaced it with a triple switch, so we can power 3 circuits of lights, the courtesy lights, which will be inclusive of all the floor lighting, and then you can see the nice brightness I get from the new LED pot lighting. So they're actually little LED recessed lights that are flush in the headliner. They're a little tricky because the headliner kind of hangs loose and there's just big space under in behind. So some of them, like here where there's a big gap, I actually put a block of wood, glued that up, and then stuck the lights to that. So, and then it kind of actually made it look nice because it just slightly pulled the headliner up. I've had all the circuits out just to check all the connections. This panel will probably get redone at some point. One of the new stereos that's going in. Bit of a mess, but and then the flooring. So this is 100% waterproof and mildew resistant flooring. It's not real wood. It's vinyl plank flooring. Yeah, still not finished the trimming. Obviously I'm going to be finishing the trim on the hatch under the dining table. And then I'm just, for now, I've just got this kind of stick-on corner molding. It's easy enough to take off and change if I decide I don't like it, but it covered up the edge, so you can see here where I haven't covered it up. I've used a simple silicone just to seal, because I want this to be completely watertight, so if anything spills it doesn't get underneath and into any cracks. So it's removable, but it's going to be nice and tightly sealed for the meantime. Thought it was a nice look. I don't want carpet inside because it always just ends up turning gross. So anyways, and then I did the hatches. I just copied the hatch that was there, but and then cut it into 3 pieces. And then the center hatch, I've put a flush, as you can see, a nice flush handle. Flips up. And then this opens up. Unfinished, but it's hinged. And that'll all be finished, painted white. The middle compartment here, you won't see any hoses or wiring. I'm going to put a ice box, actually, or wine rack. I haven't quite decided, but it's going to be sealed off, and the drainage from the bow back will go through a tube. So this compartment will not fill with water unless my boat is sinking. You'll still be able to lift up these hatches to get at the other more industrial storage compartments. And then in here, shower sump, actually. So I've taken out the pump that was in the engine bilge space that you had to run for the shower. I put a sump box in there. I ran an 1.5-inch hose underneath and into the bathroom. And then for those of you that were curious about the hatch trim, I wanted something clean looking. So this is what it looks like on the inside. I put a bit of a neoprene foam seal just for a soft seat. And then this is actually just an aluminum trim that I got at Rona. And what I've done is I've just seamed it together as neat as I could. Sealant in behind, silicone, again, so it can come off if I need to change it. And I just tacked a few screws in along the way so it's all flush. And yes, it's quite dirty now because I'm still mid-construction mode. But there it is. Nice clean look. These were supposed to be soft close cabinet hinges, but I didn't account for the fact that going vertical like this, there's a lot more weight in the hatch, so I will probably add some struts to help hold it up as well. So there it is. Yeah, and I'll probably do a similar brushed aluminum trim along the end here. It's like it's never ending. Every time I'm down on the ground, I see more areas I want to fix up, like that electrical panel. And obviously stair treads. I'm gonna put something nice on there for a nice stair tread. And then probably sometime down the road I will redo the kitchen, because why not, right? I also started cleaning up a lot of these trim rings. If you guys notice, they get yellowy like that, and I don't like the yellow. I also don't like the yellow cushions in this boat. We'll have to change that. But again, I just found the right type of paint, and I've taken them off and painted them for now, even though there's some cracks. It's not the end of the world. But again, around the sunroof, I've made it a little bit nicer white. Ignore the fingerprints because again, haven't cleaned up yet. So still lots to do. Oh, let's have a look in the washroom. Why not? So the washroom got some Dometic treatment in there right now, so no, it's not that I didn't flush. I do want to redo the washroom, but it's not bad and it's a decent layout. But let's turn the light on first. No, it's not the light. There we go. So that's the new stainless shower drain, which I ran the 1.5-inch hose into the shower sump, and then I also ran the 3/4 outlet from the shower sump all the way under the floor and out the side of the boat. Put a new through hull just for that. Looped it, of course. And then in beside here, I've taken this cabinet out and I'm actually reforming the mold for this compartment because I found it useless anyways. And there's more space behind it than they give you. So I'm making it deeper, and I'm putting a new 3-way valve. This is for the guys, so when we are just doing the number 1, we can turn the valve and it just goes outside the boat and doesn't keep filling up the somewhat small black water tank. We'll save that, and then you switch it the other way and it can go into the tank. But I just find if it's just liquid, it might as well go in the ocean. So we'll also be doing a decadence flooring to the outside deck, so all the hatches will be covered as well. cleaned up this wall a bit. 1800 watt inverter, Xantrax still running good, and then our main diverter valve for the black water and pump out and everything. Put a expansion tank in for the fresh water, and down there we'll be adding a couple osmosis filters to have cleaner fresh water when needed. There's the filter system getting ready to go in there. Gosh, what else do I want to show you guys? Oh, I feel like it's never-ending projects. So there it is. I think the only big eyesore for me is the yellowish cushions. I think if we go with a nice white or a light gray, it might clean things up a little bit in here. So there it is. So love to hear what you guys think, and if you're interested in some of the parts and stuff that I may have access to, let me know. I'll show you the shop and the store, let you know some of the things that we can get. See ya.